Hello everyone. So I just wanted to pose a question. The question being, what is consciousness? So it's almost like a buzzword that everybody uses, but have you actually thought about what it means? Well, everyone usually understands what it is to be conscious. I am aware, I am present, although not everybody that says they're conscious is aware and present, but they're aware that that's what it means. Conversely, if you were unconscious, you would be asleep or knocked out. He got sparked. He was unconscious. What does consciousness mean? Well, some might say that consciousness is the awareness that you are having an experience. You are experiencing life experience, or the experience of life. Others might know the word consciousness, but not have a clue as to what it means, and never really give it any thought or care or attention. Now, Google, not a source that can be trusted, but defines consciousness as sentience, an awareness of your own internal and external existence. The browser Brave defines consciousness as everything you experience in your head. So the sweet taste of that chocolate mousse, that sharp pain of that toothache, that fierce love that you have for your child, and the bitter knowledge that everything one day will end. Every feeling will one day end, etc. What we can deduce from this is that there is a you that is observing via your five senses this experience, and then there is the you that is the experiencer of what you are observing in the form of your feelings and your emotions. Because feelings and emotions are elicited by what you observe. The key question to ask is, are you simply a passive observer working to the script that you were programmed to follow, much like the masses that push the rock up the hill every day, working to earn slave tokens? Or are you an active participant that has come to realize that you are so much more than this mind and this body, this character construct that we are led to believe is all that is? Are you an active participant to the point where you choose actively how you respond to the script that you were given, to the script or data that you are receiving? Well, now you become your own programmer as you steer your own script via the choice of how you will respond to what you're given. Hence the saying, you are the co-creator of your existence. Expanded consciousness, to me, would refer to obtaining greater knowledge of all things, then applying the ability to refine such things via the sorting of the wheat from the chaff, to the point where true wisdom can be gained. If you look through to what we are presented as history, you will see that such wisdom obtained as expanded consciousness appeared during times of thrival, when abundance was bestowed upon the masses of that geographical area or era. Period of Socrates amongst the other great Greek philosophers, as well as the prosperity of great art, philosophy, literature, architecture, music, during the period of the Renaissance Europe. Again, all times of thrival, where there was abundance in place, and there was good security, had a good army to protect you, and there was time on hands to educate yourself. And the great minds of the world, or of the period, particularly during the Greek philosophy period, got together and shared ideas for new ideas to be born. This would be expansion in consciousness. If you look at the Renaissance period, look at the music, look at the art, look at the architecture, all coming from expanded consciousness of those at that time. Consciousness develops from thriving. History will show that such thriving times were brought to an abrupt halt, often quite quickly, followed with war, famine, pandemics, disease and death, taking the participants of that time abruptly out of that thriving homeostasis, feed and breed state, into the fight or flight, freeze response, induced by fear-inducing narratives. Well, within such a fight, flight, freeze state, where your very immune system is massively compromised, your priorities lie now in your ability to survive. Thrival becomes survival. For some, barely. Your whole existence is geared around finding food, water, shelter and security as your total priorities each day within this fight or flight state. No expansion of consciousness here. A belief that is shared by some is that there is periods or cycles of universal upgrades to the consciousness of the planet and everything on it. Maybe the so-called planetary alignment during the winter solstice of 2020, which is something I experienced in an awakening sense. Maybe such an event started the wheel turning for such a future cycle or upgrade in consciousness, which is set to conclude in 2030. A year of popularity to certain agendas, as is in plain sight. It's logical that those that hold the power differential over the masses would logically seek to sabotage such an upgrade, such a cycle of awakening consciousness. And it would be sabotaged with as many fear-inducing narratives as you could think of, in order to keep its participants from such expansion in consciousness and knowing. Consciousness should be our ability to observe, and most importantly, have influence or employ influence over our experience. Maybe the term spirituality would be more aptly defined as consciousness moving, flowing with functionality and beauty as we expand in consciousness on a mass scale, where each of us are playing the role in our own life experience as a true creator. So the masses are fed a script which they become programmed by and follow, as opposed to receiving the script and processing it, interpreting it in a way that's more beneficial to that being. First, there is a need to realize that this mechanical world construct, this matrix, has damaged all of us, many quite significantly, on both a conscious, subconscious and unconscious level. There is a need first to recognize that and then heal ourselves as best we can, seek to expand our own consciousness and find like-minded people that wish to do the same, so you can have some expansive conversations without the carrot's construct kicking in and saying, no, you can't say this, you can't think this way, you can't. This is all part of design. So seek to heal yourself and expand your consciousness and your own wisdom, coming from a benevolent place. With that in place, coming from a benevolent heart, with that in place, then it's the time to roll up your sleeves and impose your will on the world. Consciousness is your observation, interpretation, and experience via your emotions and feelings to the data that you receive and send to others. So let me say that again. Consciousness is your observation, interpretation, and experience of the data that you receive and send. You receive data, you send data. You receive a script, you react and send your script back. The most important thing about receiving and sending data is knowing that you also process, construct and reconstruct data at your will. Now you can process, construct and reconstruct the script that you receive and send out to others. And how you process, construct and reconstruct the script and the data that you receive is so much more in your control than you may have ever realized. Seek out this control and expand your consciousness, and in turn expand your life experience. So I'll say again, consciousness should be our ability to observe and, most importantly, influence our experience of life. Just ask yourself, what do you conclude from that? What is consciousness to you? Because consciousness links everything. Remember, there's the programmed and the programmers. There's those that push the script and those that write their own script. You've got more power than you know. Find it.